Hello, folks. Welcome to today's football predictions on BetCraft. Another very beautiful Wednesday morning and also Champions League day. All right, we are back with our predictions. We always do this every day, looking at football games that's going on across the globe and also getting the stats of each of these teams. Using those stats, we always come up with the verdicts for each of these matches. All right, and that's exactly what we're going to do today in a very short while. But before we do that, we'll be asking those of us who are coming across our video for the first time who are yet to subscribe. Take our time to click the subscription button right now so that you don't miss out on our subsequent matches that will always, come up on this very channel. We always do that every day. So we'll be predicting matches every day. So do not miss out. Subscribe right now and also remember to turn on the notification button so that you always get notified each time we make our predictions on this very channel. All right. Okay. That being said, also remember to check our page on Telegram. It is Betcraft, and join our group there. We also post much games and updates on that Telegram channel. All right. That being said, without further ado, we head to the business of today, and today we'll be starting with the very first match. It is the most important match of the day. It is the Champions League game where we have Barcelona. He will be hosting Inter Milan. All right, and looking at the stats for each of these two teams, before we make our verdict, we'll look at the stats. And looking at the stats for Barcelona, they've been doing so very well in recent time. Also, they're winning the Copa del Rey in recent time. And looking at the last 6 games on the home side, Barcelona, they've actually won 5 games out of the last 6 matches, and they've lost just 1, which happened against Dortmund in the second leg of that quarterfinal tie. And looking at Inter Milan, out of the last 6 games that they had, they've won 2 games. They've had 1 draw, but have also lost 3 matches out of the last 6 games that they have so far. When you look at how the two teams fared from home and away basis, you can see Barcelona playing from homes have actually won 8 matches and 2 draws. They've not lost a single match in the last 10 home games that they had. They've been doing so very well, playing from home. And away side, Inter Milan, on the other hand, have actually won 3 games from away. The last 10 away games that they've had so far, they've also had 4 draws as well as 3 losses in the last 10 away games. We saw them losing out the last away game they had to Bologna, where they lost out by 1-0 on that occasion. And also, on head-to-head basis, the last time these two teams met was far back in 2022, but it was a 3-3 draw on that very occasion. And in this very one, without spending so much time on this very one, we really do expect the home side, FC Barcelona, to do very well because they'll be, very much motivated coming out from a win against the fiercest rival Real Madrid. We expect that energy to show in this very encounter, and we expect a home win in this very one. We expect the home win. Barcelona to win outrightly. That's what we expect for that very game. Okay, and that takes us to the next game. It is in Denmark Cup, where we have Brondby who will be up against Silkeborg. And for Brondby, in the last 6 matches, they've had 4 wins and 2 draws. And away side, Silkeborg have had 3 wins and also 3 losses out of the last 6 games that they had so far. When you look at how the two teams are fared from home and away perspective, you can see that playing from home, the home side, Brondby, have actually won 5 games and 3 draws, but have lost 2 matches in the last 10 home encounters. And when you take a look at how these two teams, their away side, on the other hand, have actually won 4 games and a draw, losing 5 matches in the last 10 away games. Okay, but when you look closely at the result for these two sides, you see that most of the time, for the home side, Brondby have actually produced lots of goals playing from home. In the last 10 home matches, 8 times out of 10, they've actually seen a score line that is over 3 goals. And away side, Silkeborg, on the other hand, also have actually had a very, very similar situation. In the past 10 away games that they had, 8 games out of 10 also produced score line that is above 3 goals. So we do expect to see goals in this one. Also adding to the fact that the last 2 head-to-head meetings for between these two sides also produced lots of goals, and the last meeting was actually in March, and they had a 2-2 draw on that very occasion. So we'll be expecting 3 goals and a minimum in this very encounter. So it is over 2.5. That's what we expect for that very game. Okay, that takes us to the next for today, and it takes us to Egypt Premier League. We'll have Haras Hodood who will be coming up against Pyramids FC. The almighty Pyramids have been doing so very well in recent times. And when you look at that, stats for each of these two teams, you could see that the home side, Hodood, have won 2 games but have lost 4 matches in the last 6 games that they have so far. And the away side, Pyramid FC have won 2 games, 2 draws, but have lost 2 games as well. And when you take a look at the performances from home and away perspective, you can see that playing from home, Haras Hodood, the home side, have achieved 6 victories in the last 10 home matches. They've also had a draw as well as 3 losses in the last 10 home games that they had. And the away side, on the other hand, Pyramid FC have won 5 games and 3 draws, losing 2 matches in the last 10 away games for away side. And on head-to-head basis, the last time both teams met, it was in Egypt Cup, and that was earlier this month. We saw Hodood, doing so very well, beating Pyramids on that occasion by 2-0. But prior to that, we've been seeing Pyramids actually beating this side all the time. But in this very one, being the league match, which will be taken more seriously, we will be expecting the away side Pyramid, to take a revenge for the cup loss against Hodood in this very encounter. So we expect the away side to win our shortly in this very one. It is a way to win. That's what we expect for that very game, okay? And that takes us to the next game, also in the Egypt Premier League, where we'll have Petrojet facing Ahly, okay? For Petrojet in the last 6, they have been able to achieve 4 victories and 2 losses in the last 6 games that they have so far. And the away side, on the other hand, Ahly have had 2 victories as well as 3 draws, but they've lost 1 game in the last 6 matches that they had so far. When you take a look at how these 2 teams fared from home and away basis, you can see playing from home, Petrojet have been able to achieve 5 victories and 4 draws. They've also lost 1 match in the last 10 home games. For the away side, Ahly playing from away, they've won 5 games. They've also had 3 draws as well as 2 losses, okay? And on head-to-head basis, you can see that Ahly have quite been very dominant of this tie, beating this very side each time they meet, 9 times out of 10, and the other one being a draw. Ahly have always dominated this very side. I mean, this very one, we are also going with the away side to win our trouble in this very one. Ahly to win our trouble. That's what we expect for that very game. And that takes us to the next, which are going to be the last for today. It is in Romania, League 2, where we have Steaua Bucharest, who will coming up against Csikszereda. Okay, for Bucharest, the home side, it is 3 victories and a draw. We've also lost 2 matches out of the last 6 games. And for the away side, Csikszereda, they've won 2 games. They've also had 2 draws as well as 2 losses in the last 6 recent encounters for the away side. All right, when you look at how these 2 teams fared from home and away perspective, you could see that playing from home, the home side, Steaua Bucharest have actually had 7 victories and a draw in the last 10 home matches, and they've also lost 2 games out of those 10 home matches. And the away side, on the other hand, Csikszereda have managed just 1 win and 4 draws, but have also lost 5 games in the last 10 away games that they have so far. Okay, and on head-to-head basis, and last 2 times both teams met, saw them playing out a 0-0 draw. They've not been scoring. The last meeting was actually earlier this month, and we saw them playing out a 0-0 draw. But in this very one, we are going for the home side, Steaua Bucharest, to rise to location in this very one. Okay, having seen that Bucharest have done so very well from home, winning 7 matches in the last 10 home games. So we expect to see home side winning out shortly in this very one. So Steaua Bucharest to win. Home to win out shortly. That's our verdict for that very encounter. And that will bring our predictions for you today on BetCraft to conclusion. We wish you the very best of luck and hope your ticket goes green. Also remember to play responsibly, as these are football games. Sometimes we may carry some level of surprises. That being said, tomorrow is another day. We'll be back with our predictions on this very channel. Do not miss out. But until that time, keep winning.